Hi, I'm Tim. Does your garage look like this? All cluttered, full of stuff, you can't get anything or find anything? Well, in these next few videos, we're going to show you how we organized our garage. Today, we're going to start with the floor. Put down an epoxy floor. So stick around and I'll show you how we did it. So let's get started. First, clear out the side that we're going to work on. I'm going to do this project in two steps, one half and then the other. Here's a list of materials I use for this project. For the prep work, we need muriatic acid, a sprayer, some rubber gloves, a chemical mask, eye protection, foot protection, a drop cloth, and a garden hose. I also want to get a floor fan, a broom, a leaf blower, paintable caulk. We'll be using the RUST-OLEUM Epoxy shield. I got the 2.5 car kit. This will be good. Comes in two different packages. I can do one half and then the other half. Also picked up 2 packages of the anti-skid additive. Then I also picked up an extra bag of the decorative floor chips. We're also going to need a disposable roller frame because you're going to get the epoxy on there and it's going to be garbage after. Some roller covers, some disposable paintbrushes, mixing sticks, disposable paint trays, a rod or a pole that will screw onto our roller frame, and some painter's tape. We're going to break this project up into 2 halves. The first half is going to be the left side of the garage. Then we're going to come back and do the right side of the garage. Okay, we're going to get started with our floor now. We got our shelves up, garage cleared, swept, ready to go. First thing we're going to do, we're going to get our materials together. We're going to use a muriatic acid to acid etch the floor. What we're going to do is do a 3-to-1 type mixture. 3 parts muriatic acid, 1 part's water, and our weed sprayer. We're going to spray the whole thing, let it sit, and rinse it off. Want to make sure we have good safety equipment. A mask rated for the muriatic acid so we don't breathe in those harmful chemicals. Eye protection, rubber gloves, and if you want to keep your shoes or your boots, to protect your feet. Alright, first thing we're going to do, we're going to wet our driveway, so in case any acid flows over there, it won't totally destroy our driveway. And then we're going to get everything ready, and we're going to start. Alright, let's get to it. Let's begin by putting on all of our protective equipment, and make sure you read all warning labels prior to starting. The kit does provide a etching product that you could etch the concrete floor with, but from what I read online, doing this way with our acid to water mixture will have a better end result with our product. So we spray it directly onto the concrete. You'll start to see it bubbling, you'll start to hear it sizzling, fizzing, and we let it sit for about 15-20 minutes. You'll see it turn like a yellowish color. If you got some oily spots, you might have to go a little bit longer. But make sure you read all labels. When rinsing it out, we're going to rinse it out towards the back of our garage and then push it out to the outside of our garage. The more water we use to rinse it out, the more we dilute the acid. We don't want to start etching our driveway, so the more water we use, the better. Now we just broom out any loose pieces, and then we grab our hose and give it another rinse down again. Once the floor dries, we got to sweep out any loose debris. I'm using a combination of a floor broom and a leaf blower. Next, I went to fill in all my cracks. Just using some paintable caulk, filled in all the cracks. This will give it a nice clean look, as well as keep out any bugs that might come up between our cracks into our garage. Then I put down some painter's tape to make a line of where I want our paint to stop. First thing, once we open our kit, is to make sure you read all of the detailed instructions provided in the kit. Different brands will differ on application and preparation depending on what you buy. This kit includes our Part A and B floor epoxy coating kit, also a bag of decorative color chips, a bag of the etching material. First we're going to do is remove the epoxy floor coating packet. This kit has parts A and B, which comes in a pre-packaged bag connected together. Once we remove it from the package, it would like us to knead both parts A and B prior to mixing. Once part A and B are both needed as specified in the instructions, we're going to roll part B towards part A. This will pop the seam that keeps these two parts separate. Then we're going to shake, mix well for about 2 to 3 minutes, continuous motion. After mixing both parts A and B together, we need to let our epoxy sit up for a while. To determine how long we need depends on the temperature. Take a look at your instructions for more details. After mixing and letting our product sit for the designated amount of time, we will be adding the anti-slip adhesive, which is sold separately. I highly recommend using this because once the floor gets wet, it can be very slippery. All I did is I cut a small hole in the corner, small corner in the adhesive bag, poured one into the other, give it a stir with a stick, and then we're ready to go. Now we begin putting the product down. We want to work in an area 4 feet by 4 feet, cutting in on the edges along the walls or objects. Once a 4 by 4 area is coated, we can flake out our decorative color chips. I picked up an extra 1 pound bag in addition to the chips that are provided in the kit. Now we keep repeating this process till our one side is totally complete, working in a 4 by 4 foot area, applying the product, then throwing the chips on it. There is no right or way wrong to applying the chips. Use as little or as much as you want. One thing is to keep in mind is that don't skip on the epoxy. Use a generous amount that'll cover your entire area. This kit states that 1 coat is all you need, but if I were to do this again, I would probably go and use 2 coats. Now before you finish, you don't want to keep your garage on the wet floor. So what I have done, I use several empty 5-gallon buckets to hold the garage door open until the floor cures. Make sure you read the instructions. They'll let you know how long the floor takes to dry before you can start walking on it, and then how long you need to wait until put heavy objects or drive on it. Okay, we've reached our second day of painting. We've let our painted side dry for several days and cured. We took all of our stuff from the unpainted side, pushed it over to the painted side. We swept out the entire unpainted side of the garage. We taped a line at our garage door so we have no overpaint. We're prepping our material right now. We mixed it up, we're letting it set, and in about 30 minutes we'll begin the rest of our paint job. Now we prepare our material the same way. We put in our anti-slip adhesive, and then we work the same way in a 4 by 4 area, using our disposable brush to cut in on the areas around the garage or objects. Once painted, we throw our decorative chips down. Continue this process until the second half is done. Okay, and now we're done. Now we let this sit and dry for 24 hours, then we can walk on it. Then you want to sit for at least 72 hours before you put anything heavy back onto it or drive on it. Considering we're at the end of the warm season, I'd let it sit maybe about 4 days, what I've been told from other people, before we put any type of vehicles on it. Alright, there we have it. We are done. There we have it. A nice epoxy floor coating that we did all by ourselves. Make sure you check out our other videos in our garage makeover series. If you haven't yet, subscribe to the channel to see what we're going to be doing next. And don't forget to check us out on Facebook. Thanks for watching.